Hi there, Leos, and welcome to your soulmate reading. So, earlier in this month, I picked a card for you for your soulmate reading energy, and I did a little short on it. And the card I chose was the Queen of Wands energy. And this is so you, Leo. I feel like right now you are really having this energy where you're like, burn it all down. Like, get rid of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not playing around here. You're not messing around here anymore. You are tired and sick of the control and the manipulation and all the mind games that are being played on you right now. And you're just not having it. You're just not having it. So now you're just like fire, right? um, Fire energy. All right, Leo. So let's explore this Queen of Wands energy because she's obviously a queen. She's obviously an energy where it's like I feel like you just had enough, and I think it's time to explore everything that's happening, everything that's going on right now with this Queen of Wands soulmate energy. Okay, so I'm gonna do a reading for you. It's called the Magical Action Reading. And basically, it's no different from normal actions. It is often a symbolic representation that is shaped by will and intent and in turn shapes and affects the world. It is a symbol of real action and carries the same burdens and responsibilities, both ethical in facing the consequences of our choices and in understanding the sacrifices needed by our commitment. Okay, so representation of intent. This card is not drawn randomly, but it is chosen by the current. It represents what the current wants to achieve. So I didn't choose this card randomly. Okay, I chose this card with intent. I want Leo to know that your intentions are Queen of Wands intentions. All right, you got a lot of passion here, you got a lot of fiery personality here, characteristics here, and you are done listening to what other people have to say. It's time for you to take your own advice into your own hands, take your own life into your own hands. You already know the consequences. Oh, there's my alarm. You already know the consequences of your actions. The queen takes actions with the intent that there are really no consequences in other words, there's like no negative reactions to the queen taking charge. Okay? Really, there's nothing. There is nothing. I mean, you can say that, but I think that the main energy that I've been picking up on, and I know it's like the end of October already, Leos, but the timeless, soulmate energy is timeless anyway. But, it's like you have to take some sort of forward movement, some forward action, some movable motion into a brand new energy. Okay, so we're going to take this Queen of Wands energy and we're going to find out exactly what's going on right now with your soulmate reading. Okay, so the Queen of Wands, a figure dressed in red robes, appears in the middle of a raging fire. They have long red hair and a crown appears on their forehead. Beads dangle from the tips of their hair. They wear several layers of bead necklaces. Various pouches and implements dangle off their belt. Their right hand reaches up to hold a strand of hair. The other hand pushes their staff out in front of them. A knowing smile crosses the person's face. The sun appears bright from behind clouds. A bind rune appears near the person's leg. Meanings. The Queen of Wands teaches us to live passionately. From what they wear to how they hold themselves, they have all the confidence. It's like negativity cannot affect this queen's mood. They are bold and radiant, and they are here to remind you that you have these talents inside you as well. It's time to take a step out and live your life authentically. Keywords: upright, live a passionate life, claim your power, do things with a personal flair, have definitive boundaries, understand your motivations. Reversed, guarded, jealous, dramatic, personality, wearing masks which do not fit you, withdraw from the limelight. Bind rune, take joy in handling your destiny. Elemental attributions: fire, creative power, outer strength, passions and desires. Water, spiritual power, inner strength and surging of emotions. Okay? So, obviously, a lot of people want to talk about consequences. A lot of people want to take about accountability, all this other stuff. It's like, okay, the Queen of Fire, the Queen of Wands basically is the Queen of Fire. She already gets all that. She already knows all that. It's not about that at this point. It's not the energy you're in at this point. You're not like, oh my God, I got to take penance. I got to do, I got to, donate something to somewhere just to like, you know, you know, make sure I get into heaven. It's like, no, we're not talking about that here. Okay. This is the runic tarot deck here. Okay. We're not talking about that here. Okay. We're talking about fiery, passionate, burning the place up, lighting the fire up, lighting that flame, lighting that torch. We got this, okay? So, yeah, and now moving into your second card, this is your representation of will. This card and the two that follows are drawn randomly after shuffling the deck. It represents the resources the current can rely on in order to fuel their action and proceed according to their intent. Your intent right now is to have this like just like I feel like it's like a whole new like version of the reality you were dealing with. Okay, so um let's take a look here at what card randomly appears as your resource. We have the Five of Shields. Wow, this is like the winter, the battle, like soldiers suffering in the cold. It's horrible. How is this a resource, you ask, right? We ask ourselves, right? How is suffering and the card of suffering, okay? How is this a resource? How is this our will? Is it our will to suffer? Is it our weird will to be stranded out in the cold? Absolutely not. Right now, we can't help who attacks it. Like, we can't always prevent who attacks us, right? That's why these battles happened back in the Viking era, right? They were to be a peaceful village, doing their own thing, minding their own business. And then another village's leader would get the idea, oh, look, they have more resources than us. We need those resources. No, we don't want to do a peaceful negotiation. We just want to take what's ours. We want to promote a battle here, right? It depends on who's in charge, right? Some people are more aggressive than others, right? And then they would attack another village and try to steal their resources, and then those soldiers could be out in the cold, right, suffering, before they get help. All right, this guy's like basically tying his own bandage, right? Fallen soldiers, fallen shields here. It's like the Queen of Wands, I feel like, is like the one that like swoops in and like saves the day here, okay? Um, it's nobody's will, okay? Nobody wants to be. This is another card that could represent homelessness, right? The disadvantaged, the sick, the elderly, the disabled, those who don't have all the control or all the power to make their lives a beautiful, living, thriving place, and they need help. The Queen of Wands, I feel like you are the resource. I don't know. Like, that's just what I'm getting from this. But let like you bring the warmth. You bring the warmth to this cold, dreary, snowy night. You bring the fire. You light the torch. And that's what I'm being drawn to. It's like people can talk a lot about helping the disadvantaged, helping the homeless, donating things, blah blah blah, and then never actually do anything. And then you meet people who do want to do things, and they are helpful, and they are strategizing and building and making all these things happen. So we'll get into the Five of Shields. Um, it's easy for people like who have things to say, oh yeah, we can help because we have things. But I feel like the people who actually help are the ones who don't have a lot. You know what I'm saying? Or like they know what suffering is. They've experienced it, right? And now those are the ones that help, the ones who don't have a lot. It's interesting dynamic, right? You think, oh, the rich and wealthy, they're going to be the ones that help. They can be the ones that swoop in and save the day. But it's really like, maybe that's not the lesson here. Maybe the lesson isn't, oh, the rich and the wealthy swoop in and save the day because they have so many issues, right? Yeah, being rich is a problem, right? You get so many problems with having money. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like the Queen of Wands, she doesn't need a lot of wealth and all that to feel powerful. She just needs her passion. Okay? And the cost of that is nothing. Okay? Like, it's free to be passionate. There's no, you can't put a price on it, okay? Yeah. So let's get into that Five of Shields energy, okay, and find out what's going on with that. So, two Vikings got caught in a winter storm. Alrighty, so yeah, this Five of Shields, okay. So let's see here. So, two Vikings get caught in a winter storm without shelter. Trees are barren and the ground is hard. Five broken shields appear hazardly strewn over a tree from an old battle. Two appear in a tree, broken and pierced with arrows. Three are on the ground, also split and shattered. One Viking holds a staff and has their back turned. They appear to be walking out to find help. Another Viking sits on the cold winter ground. Bandages appear on their left hand and eye. The Five of Shields is a harsh lesson. While the two Vikings in this card appear wounded and not in the best dress to explore a winter landscape, they are not giving into the cold. The elder Viking attends to a wounded arm. They do not give up. Things seem bleak, yet there is always a way out. There is always hope when there is life. The two are splitting up so that one can find more help and hope. They wrapped a warm cloak around their companion. The two Vikings will get through this. They have been through worse. The scene looks worse than it is. Keywords: upright, uncertainty, loss of faith, hopelessness, feeling cold and forgotten. Reversed: ask for help, open to omens, depend on others, inability to see what you do have. Fear of poverty. Bind rune, always be giving to others. Interpreting the runes. Nadir means the need for timely help. Okay, Leo. So that's really what you're doing right now. You're bringing your passionate, creative side into a problem that has its challenges, has its difficulties. You're not looking at this and being like, consequences. Guess they shouldn't have gone out to war. Guess they shouldn't have gone out to fight and defend their village. Guess they shouldn't have battled for their lives and their livelihood. It's like, no, that is like not at all realistic. That's not at all what a leader does. Okay. So your resource here is yourself. You are your resource. You are your lifeline. Things seem bleak. It's like it doesn't seem like there are any resources, and it's like there are resources. There are places people can stay. There is always help. It just needs to be that energy. It needs to, like, you're not gonna, we would love to say, yeah, we're gonna have boundaries and we're gonna like protect ourselves and build up all these walls around ourselves, but then you're not even allowing yourself to feel love. You're not even allowing yourself to go through the trials and tribulations that you do encounter with a soulmate energy, okay? And your soulmate is someone who's going to be like, we can get through this. Things may seem bleak right now, but we're going to power through it. We're going to move through it. We're going to get through it. And the Queen of Wands energy is getting you in that mindset, okay? So we have representation of sacrifice. It represents the understanding that in order to gain something, something must be surrendered. Letting go can be as much as important as to grasp. Okay? And we have here the Hierophant. I love this. Okay, this is like high priest energy. Okay, divine masculine energy, the bridge between worlds. Okay, so as the veil is lifted, I mean, we're days away from Halloween here, okay? So as the veil is lifted, you're going to start to see a new light. You're going to start to see a new world open up in front of your very eyes, okay? And in this case, the Hierophant is very much, I feel like, spiritually leading you there to grasp that concept of like, wait, are there really no resources? Are there really no ways of dealing with these difficulties and these challenges? Or are you going to just sit in this mindset of, well, consequences, people's actions, ha ha ha? It's like, who made you like Lord of the land? Like, who made you judge and jury, right? Who made you the Lord of the land to decide and dictate how people should be treated? All right, so I feel like this Hierophant card is also a reminder, like, miracles happen. Like, the Vikings struggled with Christianity coming to their land and using money and power from the Catholics or whatever Christian group was out there, to buy these jarls, the leaders of these clans, power and armies, and really because they wanted to conquer more lands. So let's take a look here at this Hierophant. And I feel like for you, it's like we're not like you don't want to go somewhere and like conquer a land. You just want to like live in peace. Like, is that so much to ask for? I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why does somebody need to always be coming in and trying to like, take more when they don't need more? You know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting dynamic here for sure. Okay, so let's take a look here at this Hierophant card. The god Forseti, son of Balder, sits on a throne of stone. He wears a long red and white robe. The hair is long and falls from a top knot over his shoulder. A halo appears behind the god, and a stone tablet rests in his lap. He makes a gesture out to two kneeling Vikings. The Vikings on the left the Viking on the left has long braided red hair that blends into their red fur robe. The Viking on the left has shorter hair and a gray tunic. They look at the meditating god in eager anticipation of the judgment. A dog sits eagerly at his side, and it holds a sword between its teeth. The Rado rune appears above Forseti. Ornamental decorations featuring patterns from later Viking ages decorate the two stone pillars. Meanings. Forseti is a god of justice and reconciliation. Um, so, Forseti is the god of justice and reconciliation. As such, he is a powerful force to help resolve issues between Vikings and tribes. The Hierophant represents an influential figure in society, a spiritual teacher. In many tarot decks, the figure on the throne is the same or is more concerned with religious and moral topics. In Viking lore, since everyone had the same pantheon to follow, it fell to the Jarls to hold up the norms and customs of their groups, knowledge, leadership, and learning, giving them tools to integrate into society. And at its core, this is what the Hierophant teaches. They teach the skills needed to become a productive member of the community. Vikings learned how to read and make the symbols that compose the runes, their language. They used the power of their voice to Geldir to know and cement the true meaning into their minds. They would retell the stories that now make up what we identify as Norse mythology. The rise of Christianity took much of the Viking culture away from the people. Christianity destroyed their stories and their gods until the Vikings integrated them into new religion. Upright, make good decisions, awaken to understanding, teaching, religion, caretaker of cultural knowledge. Reversed, turn away from the light, challenge authority, ignore advice, unable to handle change well, detached from life. Uh, Red, Redu, pronounced Redu, journey, travel, bring order from chaos. Redu is loosely defined as riding a horse or transportation. It is the idea of journey and travel. There is a power of freedom from this rune. Redu governs all rhythmic and cyclical actions. All this has happened before and will happen again. Vikings weren't just known for their skills as a military force. They were also farmers who worked the land and used the cycles of nature to grow their crops. Working the ground made them strong, and many farmers became fighters when they wanted to own land. The Hierophant in the tarot controls communication between the material plane and the heavens above. It makes sense that the power to communicate the will of the gods and apply it through the structure of Viking society arises here. The appearance of this rune can indicate a movement that brings order to chaos. Pay attention to what you know and where you are. There is a divine order at play, and Redu is here to help you understand it all. So it's like I feel like your higher power, like your higher self, your consciousness is literally telling you right now, like, stop conforming to the ideals and principles of others and start conforming your own ideas and your own principles based off your own knowledge, because the Queen of Wands is a leader, we know that. So combine the Queen of Wands with the Hierophant, there's nothing they can't do, right? There's nothing Ray do. It's literally like Ray do, right? So it's like you have this power of authority in your own life, and it's overcoming these challenges. Yes, there's going to be battles that are fought. Yes, there's going to be times of loss. Yes, there's going to be times of pain and looking for shelter in the winter storm, both metaphorically and for some literally. So you need to tap into that Queen of Wands creative passion inside of yourself and be like, take charge, right? Like the Jarls will take charge of their villages, and they'll say, you know what, I'm going to come up with a set of rules and guidelines that's going to work for everybody. And if these set of rules and these guidelines don't work for you, I don't know what to tell you. Like, go start another village somewhere. I don't know. Like, this is how it works, right? So your soulmate has to be somebody who like understands that, and they don't use like a control power dynamic. Like, there's never a control power dynamic shifting between you and your soulmate. It's not about that. It's not about control. It's not about power. It's about taking ownership of what you need to do in your life in order to keep that creativity fueled, to keep that passion burning, to take charge of crappy situations and not let them stay crappy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when your village is suffering, you're gonna, and it's under attack. You're gonna go to battle for it. You're gonna go to war for it. You're gonna fight for your family. You're gonna fight for your soulmate. You're gonna fight these challenges together. Your soulmate doesn't just ditch and run and leave you fending for yourself, right? And they don't like surrender to this mentality where it's like, we're not gonna even try to win this challenge or win this situation. We're gonna just let it go. That's not a soulmate mentality. Okay, so um saying that, and that, really being the energy I'm feeling right now, we're going to move into representations of consequences. It represents how the situation may evolve and change, and it points out the responsibilities of the current for the good and the bad. As a symbolic act, the current may carve or draw the runes he finds in the cards. In order to connect with greater depth with his own intent, to channel his own will, to accept the sacrifice, and to face the consequences of their actions. Which is so funny because we have the Queen of Wands, which is all about like, okay, you got consequences, great, awesome. But that's not what this is saying. This is saying that when you fight for what you believe in, you will connect with your soulmate. And when your soulmate fights to be with you, you'll connect with them. You're connecting with each other. When you fight for each other, you connect with each other. That is what a soulmate is. That is what you are, Leo. Like, you fight for your person. You want your person to be successful. You want them to have the resources they need to live out an amazing, wonderful life. It's like you are like the epitome of what a soulmate should be. Okay, you have the creativity, you have the passion, you have the drive, you have the ability to say, wow, we're in this challenge, but we can get through it. What we're going to have to sacrifice, what we're going to have to deal with are people who honestly are not helping, right? Who are not making things better. That's the sacrifice that we're going to have to make, is we're going to have to stop listening to these negative mindsets, these negative people that just keep going and going and going down that path. You cannot connect with someone like that. It's just not a great connection. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, which is all about the card of leaving. Okay, it's like, bye, getting on my boat, peace out, bitches. Like, that's what the Six of Swords is about. Okay, it's about that passion and that drive put into action, taking you into the light, taking you toward the next into the horizon, right? Into that sunset or sunrise or whatever is happening there. Okay, and you have to sometimes you have to get in the boat alone. Sometimes you have to break up with that person who's just like negative all the time, not willing to fight for the resources, not willing to fight for the protection of the village and the protection of your connection. Okay, I'm using village as like a metaphor, but think of it as like your family, your shelter, your food, your connection. Okay, this is all about soulmate connection. Your person wants to be right there alongside of you, fighting with you. They see that fire, they see that passion, and they're motivating it. They're like, yes, you've got this. And you're doing the same for them. But we have to like literally give up a lot of negative people, a lot of negative energies in our lives to get to that point. Okay. And even when you have like the strongest soulmate connection, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the best soulmate connection I've ever had. Oh my God. Like, even when you feel that way, still in the back of your mind, remind yourself that sometimes you have to do certain things alone. Okay. Because you could have I feel like soulmate connection is like an energy, an energy force. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's gone. And when that happens, it's not, I'm not saying, like, depending on the situation, I'm saying you have to write that person off and never talk to them again. But I'm saying sometimes you need to take a break from that energy. So let's take a look here at the Six of Swords. Okay? Because this is all about, like, moving on, moving past the bad stuff, all that. So let's see here. Seafaring Viking sets out for new lands in a river. They pilot a single long ship. The Viking has placed 6 swords in the bow of their craft. Each one represents a different skill and trait. The waters are calm for the moment, and the sun casts a bright light over the land and terrain. It looks like this journey will be smooth and easy. No warnings in the distant water. There is much this Viking can contemplate while moving ahead. 6 runes appear on the sword's blades. A journey is taking place on the Six of Swords. A Viking travels from one place to another. Whether it is for trade or to spread out and find their fortune, this Viking takes 6 swords with them. They are heading into the sun, looking forward to what the dawn brings. The message this card brings is knowing that you are moving to better and brighter futures. Let go of who you were in the past. Take what you need going forward and carve out a more hopeful place for yourself in the world. Enjoy the journey. Upright. Pleasant travels, moving to a higher place. The journey is important. Let go of the past. Reversed. Stuck in place. Uncertainty, anxiety, mental baggage, a rough journey. Fine rune. A necessary trip brings you good, creative energy and joy. And that is what a soulmate connection fuels. It fuels the creative, good energy. It fuels the joy. It fuels the fire. And the Queen of Wands is all about the fire and the passion and the creativity. So, Leo, if you're in that Queen of Wands energy right now, you're not looking for some dull, deadbeat loser that's all like, I don't have a car, I don't have a job, I don't have any money, but will you be with me? No, not gonna be with you. Okay, especially if your past with that person was fueled by negativity, was fueled by uncertainty, was fueled by anxiety. Like, I feel like this past energy was someone who put a lot of mental baggage on you. They were like, oh, I'm going through this hard time. I'm going through this hard time. I'm going through this hard time. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? And you're like, okay, I know how to overcome challenges. That's not a problem for me. But what's a problem, Leo, is that you help someone out and then now you are the one that needs some help. It's not even that severe of a situation as much as their crap that they were putting on you. And then they don't even want to step up. So you got to get rid of that for sure. And then you're going to be moving to a higher place. You're going to be having pleasant travels. You're going to be letting go of the past. You're going to be embracing this brand new energy that you're in. And that is, I feel like that is what is waiting for you on the other side, is your true healthy partner, is your true healthy connection. Someone who is willing to go fight with you, battle with you, go through the ups and downs of life with you, and not just throw in the towel when life gets hard and just go and run off to mommy and daddy's. Like, no, come on now, fight a little bit. Have some freaking, cojones. So, interpreting the runes, Burke denotes a brewing and painful presence within. Pierrot signifies an unknown force that fills you with energy. Jofu means the joy of giving something away or surrendering yourself. Rada is the harnessing of power. Need represents what you crave the most. Win is a joy that comes from the heart. Okay, so you are being filled with joy. A true healthy soulmate connection energy is gonna fill you with joy. It's gonna fill you with love. This might be something that it's like growing inside of you, making you realize who you are as a soulmate. Because sometimes we're like, who is my soulmate? Who is my soulmate? Where is my soulmate? But then you come back to yourself. and you're like, you know what? All this loving, joyful, happy, creative, passionate energy that I want so badly in another person is within me. So maybe there isn't an actual physical person that is embodying this energy at this time, but maybe that energy is within you. And as you use that energy to get through things, you're going to start to set sail. You're going to start to see a new light, a new joy, new happiness, new love, new hope fill you. And this is going to bring you closer to the people that you're meant to connect with, and maybe possibly a romantic person. Okay, but you got to be able to see the person as a whole and see yourself as a whole as well. Because if there's a person out there that one minute they make you feel good and they're like, oh, I want to be with you, I want to be with you, I'm going to tell you all these things I think you want to hear, and then you're like, like okay, but then like, what about when I want to talk to you? What about when I want to ask you something or need your help with something? Are you going to be there for me? And they're like, no, I'm just talking this talk just to get you to connect with me. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to be careful of those types. But I feel like that was in your past anyway. And I feel like you already went through that. I feel like that's why you had this like Five of Shields energy, because I really think you've learned from the past. You've learned what these people can do to you, what they can use you. They can tell you things, say what they think you want to hear, and then leave you with nothing. Take advantage of you. But I don't think you're in that anymore. I think you're in that. You're the Queen of Wands. You definitely are like, yeah, that's not gonna, that I'm not gonna fall for that ever again. That's why I'm the Queen of Wands, because you had this moment of transformation and you burned away all that stuff from the past, and you're like, I know what I deserve now, and you are headed straight for it. Okay, you're headed straight for it. So that's my message for you, Leos. Love and light always. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you get new videos every time I post them, and hit that thumbs up button because I love getting likes. I love likes. So thank you so much for that, and happy Halloween. Bye.